Hello everyone, welcome again to Open Source Study, and this is the part 4 of our drone programming series. In the last video, we talked about the ground control station in detail, and we have also seen the working of one GCS, which was Mission Planner. And in this video, we will continue exploring the Mission Planner and learn new interesting things which we can do with it. So, we are basically going to discuss 4 things. The first is how to launch the CTL and connect it to Mission Planner. The second is how to plan a proper mission. The third is how to fly, means we will discuss all the things like changing modes, taking off, starting a mission, flying autonomously, and a lot more using Mission Planner. The fourth is how to change the simulation parameters, which can lead to change in simulation. This part will be very interesting, so watch till the end. So let's switch to the system and get it started. So if you are seeing this window for the first time and feeling confused or scared of all these fancy and colorful things, then don't be afraid. Just look for the last video of this drone programming series, which is part 3, and in that video I have explained about all of these tabs: quick action, pre-flight, gauges, status, and I have also explained about all of these windows: data, plan, setup, config, simulation, help, with proper detail and understanding. You can check the I button for a link, so go and check that video for better understanding. So let's start the first part of this video, that is launching and connecting the CTL to Mission Planner. And as I already told you that to launch the CTL, we have to go to the simulation window. So let's quickly go to the simulation window. And here you can see it is showing our home location. You can drag our home location wherever you want, because right now we haven't connected any GPS module to our system. So our system does not know, or this Mission Planner does not know what is our live location or current location. To launch the CTL or start the CTL, you have to first select the model for which you want to start the CTL or for which you want to launch the CTL. So I will launch the CTL for quadcopter. I'll select a quad from here, and then you have to select a vehicle. And as you already know, that quadcopter comes under the multi-rotor category. So to launch it, you have to just left click on it, but before that, just look at it here. Right now our Mission Planner hasn't connected to anything. Okay, so after we launch our CTL, and it will automatically connect to our Mission Planner. So to launch it, you just have to left click to multi-rotor, and you can see it is downloading this CTL software. So what will happen? It will download the CTL software for this quadcopter, and it will then install it and connect it to the Mission Planner, and all this process will happen automatically. So you just have to sit there and just watch it. It will take few seconds. So you can see that CTL is launching and checking the parameters. You can see here right now it is showing that the CTL is connected to the Mission Planner. So what exactly happened? We downloaded the CTL and it automatically launched and got connected to the Mission Planner. So we have successfully done the first part, that is launching the CTL and connecting it to Mission Planner. And the best part is we haven't done anything much. We just left clicked on it and everything happened automatically. So let's go to the plan window, because the next thing is to plan a mission. This is the window where we are going to plan our mission. So from here you can change the coordinate system. Okay, right now it's geo, and from here you can change the map. So I will leave it as a Google hybrid map. You can change whatever you want. Okay, so what is basically a flight plan? So a flight plan is nothing, it's just a flight path, right? So suppose if you are moving from a point A to point B, then your drone will follow some path, and that path is basically a flight path, and we have to plan that path. That is what we call flight planning. So how we are going to do it? We are going to do it with the help of waypoints, right? So to create a waypoint, you just have to choose any location and then just simply left click on it. It will automatically create a waypoint. Okay, and you can create as many waypoints as you want. Okay, just by left clicking on that particular point. So suppose you want to fly from the home location to this location, right? So you can plan your flight, and suppose this is your target, this is where you want to reach. So this can be your flight plan, and this is basically a path of your drone, and that's what we call a flight plan. Okay, so let's first, I don't want to plan it like this, so let's first delete all these things. You can delete it from here. So let's first see what are all these things. So here you can see this is waypoint radius. So it's by default it's 10, you can change it. So what is basically a waypoint radius? It is basically a circle of radius 10 meter around the waypoint. And what is the need of this? So suppose what happens if your drone is flying from home towards waypoint 1. So as soon as your drone enters into the radius of 10 meter around this waypoint, your drone will assume, or your drone system will assume, that it has successfully reached the waypoint 1, and then it will change its path towards waypoint 2, and that is your waypoint 2. So after entering into the circle of radius 10 meter, your drone system will assume that it has successfully come to the waypoint 1, and then it will started flying towards waypoint 2. So that is what we call waypoint radius. And that loiter radius, what is loiter radius? That is the circle of, right now it's by default 45. So it is a circle of 45 meter radius around the waypoints. So what is the need of this? So suppose you are flying any mission, like this is your mission, and right now you are at waypoint 2 and you are flying towards the waypoint 3. And suppose suddenly something happened and you want to hold your mission for some time. Then you can simply change the mode from auto to loiter, and we will see later in this video how to change the mode. So what happens when you change the mode is your drone will start flying in the circle of 45 meter radius around the waypoint 3. And after some time, when you feel that your issue is resolved, then you can continue the mission by changing the mode back from loiter to auto, and then your drone will continue or resume the mission back. So let's see the next thing. The next thing is default altitude. Let me first remove all these unnecessary waypoints. So right now it's showing default altitude is 100 meter, and there are three things you can select: the altitude, relative, absolute, and terrain. So what is basically relative? So right now let's see, I want to select this point as a relative altitude of 100 meter. So what is it relative? What does relative means? Relative means this waypoint is above 100 meter of the mean sea level of home location. So that is what we call relative altitude. So if this altitude is the 434, you can see the altitude is 434 meter above the mean sea level, and this altitude is 100 meter above this altitude, the home altitude. That means this altitude is around 534 meter above the mean sea level. That is what we call relative. And let's switch to the second. The second is absolute. If I click the 100 meter absolute, so that means the second waypoint is the absolute. So this second waypoint is 100 meter above the mean sea level, not the 100 meter above the mean sea level of home location. No. The third is terrain. If I choose the third point as a terrain, this is basically the 100 meter above the mean sea level of that terrain, of that particular point. Okay. So to tell you all these things in a little good manner, what we will do is we will simply right click on it and go to map tool and go to elevation graph. So yes, this is a very good way to explain this altitude frames. So right now you can see our home location is around 420 meter or 430 meter above the mean sea level. This is a mean sea level. This you can see, this is the mean sea level. So our home location is around 434 above mean sea level, and this is our first waypoint. Our first waypoint I have chosen 100 meter relative to the home location. So if this is 434, the waypoint 1 is 434 plus 100, that is 534 above mean sea level. Okay, the second waypoint I have chosen into the absolute frame. So that absolute frame is 100 meter. So this is 100 meter above the mean sea level only. So this is mean sea level and this is 100 meter above the mean sea level. So you can see our terrain level is around 400 meter for this particular point, and our drone altitude is under the terrain. So you may see a collision here. Okay, so let's see the third point is here, that is I have chosen 100 meter above the terrain mean sea level. So for this point the terrain mean sea level is around 400, and 400 plus 100, so this is around 500 meter above the mean sea level. So that is how all this frame works. So what is basically the need of all this frame? Suppose when you are flying into the hilly areas, so in that condition it is always recommended to change the frame into terrain. Otherwise you can simply go to the elevation graph or elevation profile and check it. If you see the crossing of these two lines, that means you will see the collision here. Your drone will simply hit to the ground here, or your drone will simply hit any hill if you see the collision. So it's always recommended, if you are flying in the hilly areas, always use the terrain frame or whatever the frame is and cross check with the help of this elevation profile. So let's quickly delete all these frames, and I will simply change it to the relative. I just want to fly my mission into the relative frame, so I'll delete this also. So we cannot simply plan the mission like this, simply selecting the waypoints and fly. This is not a proper way, right? This is not how you should fly. So to plan the mission, you have to, so let's delete all these things. So this is not a proper way to fly a mission, right? So how we are going to fly a mission in a proper way? So if we have to plan a mission according to the flight phases. So what are these flight phases? There are basically 5 flight phases. The first one is takeoff, the second is climbing, the third is cruise, the fourth is descent, and the fifth is landing. So these are the 5 flight phases which are similar in every air vehicle. So we are going to plan our mission according to these flight phases. So the first is takeoff, and it's very obvious our drone is going to take off from the home location, right? So just right click on it and put it as a takeoff. So it will ask you for the takeoff altitude, and I will put the takeoff altitude as 25 meter and then simply hit enter. So you can see our first waypoint has created, and this is on the home location. That's why it is showing everything 00 position. It will take off and reach to the 25 meter altitude, and then the second phase comes. After your takeoff altitude, you have reached to the takeoff altitude, or your takeoff phase has completed, the second phase is climbing. So your climbing phase will start from this home location to the first waypoint, and the waypoint is basically, the first waypoint is the starting point of your mission. You can choose simply a random mission. So this is my starting point of mission. So the altitude here I have put 100, right? So that means it will take off and reach to the 25 meter altitude, right? After reaching the 25 meter altitude, it will start moving and climbing towards the waypoint 2. Okay, so it will climb and reach the altitude of 100 meter, and that is the starting point of your mission, and then it will fly the mission. Suppose this is your mission. So generally the cruise phase is the mission. So the starting and ending point of the cruise phase are the starting and ending point of your mission too. And after completing the mission, the descent phase will start, which is exact opposite to climbing phase. And we have to change the altitude of the next waypoint, because in a descent phase we have to set the approach for landing. So I will put it as a 50 meter and create a next waypoint here. So what will happen after finishing the cruise phase? It will descend and it will reach to the waypoint 10, and the altitude is 50 meter. And after reaching the waypoint 10, you can select the other point here. You can change the command from here. You can select this waypoint, the last waypoint, as a land. So this is the mission. This is how to plan a proper mission. So let me explain you all these things again. What will happen? Our drone will first take off from the home location and reach the altitude of 25 meter. It will start climbing and it will reach to the waypoint 2, and the height of waypoint 2 is, you can see, 100 meter. Then this climb phase will end. After climb phase, it will fly the mission, that will come under the cruise phase, and it will reach the last waypoint, that is 9th waypoint. After that, the descent phase will start, and we have made one more waypoint, and I have decreased the altitude of this waypoint as 50. So it will descend from 9 to 50. The drone altitude will decrease, and your drone will reach to the 50 meter altitude. And after that, we have planned the next waypoint as land. After reaching this altitude, it will reach to the 11th waypoint and it will land there. So this is how you are going to plan your mission with the help of flight phases. So that is how to plan a proper mission. But again, this does not look good, right? You cannot simply, randomly select the waypoint and plan it. This is again not a proper way. I know we have planned it according to the flight phases, but still, is it looking good? I don't think so. To create a mission, there has to be some aim. So what is your aim to create a mission? So what I'm going to choose it, suppose we are going to, do the aerial survey of this area. That is our aim. We want to do the aerial survey of this area. That is our aim. So now we got the aim, and for that we need to plan a mission, right? And how to do it? First we will clear this mission from here. And as I told you, we are going to plan a mission, that is aerial survey of this land. So how we are going to do is, there is a very fantastic, very wonderful tool in this mission planner. Just right click on it and go to polygon and draw a polygon. And then you can simply select the corners of the land for which you want to do the aerial survey. So this, like this, and like this, third, and like this, fourth. So for this land, I would like to do the aerial survey, and you can drag also. Just right click, hold, and you can simply drag wherever you want to drag. Okay. And you can increase, suppose you want to put a waypoint here, you can increase it. And right now it is showing here, you can simply click it here and do it like this. And you can put it here also, and you can stretch it whatever you want, wherever you want to stretch it. But I will make it as a clear, so delete all this, delete this. So we'll simply plan a small proper mission. So now you have selected the 4 corners of the land for which you want to do the aerial survey, right? So what is the next step? Next step is right click and go to the auto waypoint. What we are going to do is, we are going to create the auto waypoints. That means this mission planner will automatically create the waypoint for this mission. And how to do it? You can create the circle waypoints, spline circle waypoints. There are so many tools there, but my favorite is survey. So simply go here and click here, survey grid, and you can see it has automatically planned the waypoints. So you can see here it is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it has automatically planned the waypoint for this survey, for this aerial survey. So let me tell you what this window is. This is again very powerful window. So from here you will get all the information about your mission. You can see the area is around this 11,000, not 11,000, something around 1,15,047 meter per second square. This is the whole area you are going to cover, and your total distance, your total mission distance is 2.7 kilometer, and your ground resolution is 4.166 centimeter. To get this resolution, you have to take 31 pictures. You can see the distance between line also, and your flight time is also available here. Your ground elevation is also available here. So everything, whatever you need is available. And in the right hand side, you can see, you can select your camera also. So suppose if I change the camera, you can see my flight plan. All these auto waypoints will change. I will choose this area. So if you want to fly with Sony A600, and if you want to have this resolution 1.95 centimeter, then you have to fly this with very close lines or with very close flight path. So you can see my distance has changed from 2 kilometer to 10 kilometer, and time is also changed, that is 42 minutes right now. And if you fly with this Canon Alpha, you can see you don't have to fly closely, right? So this is very powerful tool. You can select your camera, whatever the camera available in your drone, and if it's not available here, then I think you already, you can check your camera resolution, how powerful is your camera, what is your camera pixels, and then you can easily calculate whether you have to fly closely to do the aerial survey, or you can like fly away. So that you can do on your own. And you can change the flight speed also. I will select as a 10 meter per second flight speed. So if I'll click if I'll click anything, or if I'll click 10, you can see my flight time has changed. It is now 6 minutes 5 seconds. If I'll put it as 15 meter per second, 4 minutes. And if I change the altitude also, my waypoints, my flight plan will again change. It's very common sense, right? If you will fly from very high altitude, then you need not to fly very closely, right? You can easily capture the land. And if you increase the altitude, you can see my ground resolution is also increasing. That means you will not get the quality data. And if I'll again increase, then you can see if I'll fly in 200 meter altitude, I will get the ground resolution of 7.73 centimeter. So it's always recommended fly around, you can fly 60 meter and you will get the ground resolution of 2.32 centimeter with this camera. Okay, you can click here advanced options. You can go and check the advanced options also. So, and after you are you are good to fly, you have selected all these things, you can simply hit accept here, and boom, your mission is ready, your flight plan is ready. And if you want to see the mission, you can simply click here and go to polygon and clear the polygon. So boom, this is your mission. A little zoom would be good, right? So this is your mission, right? And we are ready to fly. You can see here, this first waypoint is the takeoff. It will take off from here, and the second waypoint is this waypoint. It will reach there. The third is do set camera target distance. This will trigger the camera shutter. So that is the reason the third waypoint is not here. It's not in the mission. The second and third is on the same point. So after reaching to the second waypoint, then basically these are the commands. These 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, these are the waypoints. But other than this, whatever these numbers are, these are the commands. So first command is it will take off and it will go to the second waypoint. What is the second waypoint? This lat and long. It will go to this lat and long and attain this altitude. The third command is it will trigger the camera shutter. Then the fourth command is it will go to this lat long. The fifth command is it will again trigger the camera shutter, and like that it will fly the whole mission. The last command is return to lodge. After completing this full mission, what will happen? It will automatically return to the home location and it will land automatically. So that is the mission plan. Now I think our mission is ready. So what we have to do is, once you are satisfied with the mission, once you are okay with the mission, you can go here and click on write. It will upload your waypoints, and then you can click on read. It will read your waypoints. It will receive the waypoints, and then it's good. You are good to go. And I think you already know that how we are going to fly this mission. And I guess you are right. We have to go to the action tab to fly this mission. So here we are right now in the action tab, and you can see our mode is stabilize mode right now. You can change the mode from here. You can select any mode. Let's select guided mode, and then you can click on set mode. So here's a quick question for this video. What is the difference between guided and stabilized mode? Write your answer in the comment section, and I think you know what you will get, right? So we are good to go. So the next thing is we have to arm our drone, because right now it is showing that our drone is disarmed. So to do that, we have to click on here and it will arm our drone. Armed means our propeller will start rotating, and after that the next step is take off. So to take off, you can click on here and choose take off from here and enter the altitude, and then simply press OK. but we are not going to do this way because I have already given the takeoff waypoint in my mission plan. So if you missed the takeoff waypoint in your mission plan, you can approach this way, but I have already set the takeoff waypoint in my mission plan, so I'm not going to do this way. So, and you can see our drone is again disarmed. So what happens, our drone will wait for few seconds for the next command, and if it will not give the next command, then our flight controller will disarm the drone automatically. And there are two main reasons behind it. The first is for the safety purpose, and the second is to save the battery. So we are going to again arm our drone, and after arming the drone, I'm going to start our mission. Just click here, do action, it will ask you yes. And you can see our mode has again changed from guided to auto, and our altitude, our drone altitude is increasing. So our drone is taking off, and once it will reach the 30-meter altitude, it will start flying toward the next waypoint. So yes, it has reached the 30-meter altitude. It has started flying towards the next waypoint. You can see it right now, it's in a climbing phase. It is the altitude is increasing. So it has reached to the 60-meter altitude. And basically this is what we call a autonomous flying, right? I'm not controlling my drone through joystick or any manual control. It is flying autonomously, right? So this is the power of ground control station. And you can see these blocks are nothing but camera capture or camera click. So right now it is showing, this is a photo 1, and it is showing the altitude, roll angle. This is a photo second, third. So these are our photo captures. So my drone is flying autonomously, and it's really interesting. And through this panel, through this tab, you can control your drone. You can again, you can resume the mission, abort landing, restart the mission, change the mode to loiter, and there are many other modes. You can try all these modes on your own. So this is the power of this ground control station. So now let's move to the next part, that is how to change the simulation parameters. So here you can see right now my drone altitude, my drone direction is around 73, right? So I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to go to config, and I'm going to it will take some time to load. So I'm going to click here full parameter tree and go to search for sim, click enter and go down. And these basically these are the simulation parameters. You can change all these parameters, and you can see how your simulation will change. You can read about all of these parameters in the mission planner manual. There are many parameters. You can change these parameters, and it's very interesting. You will see how your simulation will change. And to give you the live example, I'm going to change few parameters. So let's go to the wind parameter. So here we are, wind parameter. These are the wind parameters. So I think this is the wind direction. So I will change the wind direction as 73, and this is the wind velocity. I will change the wind velocity as let's change it to 15. We have put the 15 meter per second our drone speed. So let's change it to 15 meter per second. And after changing the parameter, you have to just click on write params. It will save your parameter, and then press OK. So your parameter is saved. Let's go to our tab, and right now our drone is going, and drone altitude is around 240, 265, and you can see the instability, right? Our drone is unstable because the wind velocity is very high. Okay, and let it change the direction, and you will really see the effect of wind. So once it will change the direction, it will move this way. You will really see the changes. So right now it is changing the direction, and yes. So you can see right now its direction is almost what we put, right? It's almost 70, around 70. And you can see our drone is not moving forward, right? And that is the power of simulator parameters, because it is flying in upwind, and the velocity of upwind is 15 meter per second. So wind is coming from this direction with the velocity of 15 meter per second, and your drone is flying in this direction with the velocity of 15 meter per second. So if you'll do the math, so the net velocity is 0, and that is the reason your drone is not moving forward, right? You can see our drone is just hovering in the same position. because it is cancelling out the velocity. So that is how you can change the parameters of simulation, and then you can like really see the changes in this simulation. And there are many parameters out there. You can try all these parameters on your own. Just go to the config and go to the full parameter tree, and here so many parameters. You can click here sim and then enter. These all are the simulation parameters. So you can change all these parameters and try one by one and see the effect in your simulation. So this is the power of ground control station, right? So again, our drone is still hovering in the same position. You can change the mode from here. You can call your drone home by simple RTL, that is return to launch, and then click set mode. It will call back your drone. You can see your drone mode has changed, that is RTL, and it is started flying towards the home location. But still it's not stable because it is flying in a very strong environment. And believe me, this process, this planning process and flying process is exactly same in the case of real drone. So when you fly the real drone with the help of mission planner, you have to exactly plan the mission like this, and you can simply fly your drone like this. Whatever we approach, whatever the steps we have followed in this tutorial, the steps will be same for in case of real drone. Our drone is approaching the home location, and it will reach the home location and it will then land there. But right now it is unable to reach the home location because we have set a very strong wind. So it is not able to reach the home location, so it will not land. But I guess you got my point, what I'm trying to make here, like how you can change the simulation parameters and see the behavior of your simulation. So that is what we can do with this mission planner. I think I've pretty much explained everything about this mission planner. How to start the simulation, how to plan a mission, how to fly the mission, right? So this is a very powerful tool. Again, you can explore this. There are so many things in this software. You can explore all these things on your own. If you are having any doubt or if you're stuck somewhere, just put a comment on this video and I will help you. So that's it for this video. I hope you are finding this series helpful and interesting. So from the next video, our programming part will start. So are you guys excited? Well, I am. And I know this series is a little slow. I know I'm uploading one video in 10-12 days, but I'm trying to increase the speed. And guess what? You can also help me in that by subscribing this channel and hitting the like button and commenting on this video, like what do you think about this series or a particular video, and share this series with your network so that it can reach to the many other people. And seriously, this will really help me and motivate me to complete this series fast and make many more interesting series for you. So remember, every subscription, like and comment counts. Stay tuned and see you in the next video.